Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Vonnie and welcome back to Sown Awareness. I want to make a quick video about enablers of the narcissist. Why you really can't trust them. We often know that they are really empathetic people, and we know that the narcissist pretty much abuses them like they abuse everybody. But before I jump into that, I want to wish you guys a happy New Year's, guys, and 2021. I know there's a lot of things taking place for so many of us this year, and we are still dealing with narcissists in a lot of different situations, a lot of different scenarios and dynamics of the narcissist that we have, whether it's a relative or a crazy ex, anybody. I just want you guys to be encouraged, and I'm hope that these videos help you out, guys. And so I'm gonna jump right in. You can't really trust the enablers and the narcissist for a lot of reasons, though. But the main thing I want to talk about first is that, we can't forget that the enabler is a supporter of the narcissist. They are involved with the narcissist, right? They have contact with the narcissist, right? And they, they're pretty much a friend to them, a family member, or, a relative, like I said. And do you really want someone that's a supporter of the narcissist supporting you at the same time? I would say it's going to be very unhealthy because, enablers actually allow you to be abused. They know a lot of information of what's going on. They know a lot, unlike flying monkeys who are out there getting dirty for the narcissist. Enablers play their own parts in it. And sometimes they may not realize it, the things that they get dragged into, but they do get dragged into a lot of things, and they know a lot of things. They know a lot of patterns that the narcissist has, a lot of patterns of their behavior. They know the exes that they were with before. They know all the other, people, all the other ways the situation ended. They know a lot, but they still try to push a lot of that stuff out because they were brainwashed by the narcissist and bullied. So they really kind of push a lot of stuff out of their minds, and they choose not to, get involved. They choose to sit back. They won't step in to help you because it's not their fight, right? It kind of sucks, it's not their fight. So they just, sit back and watch and not really feel sorry for you, which is sad. It's wrong, morally it's wrong to know that it's something going on with someone really bad, or something that's about to happen to somebody really bad, and you know about it and you won't even do anything about it. This is enablers are toxic like the narcissist in many ways. They will criticize you, like the narcissist criticizes us. Ironically, they have that in common with the narcissist. They will criticize you. Well, she should have known, why would she, marry a man so quickly, or why did she jump in that relationship so quickly? But the flip side of that, it's always, two sides to every story. The flip side of that is that you didn't know the narcissist is what? Love bombing you. And, we all know that relationships move pretty quickly with narcissists because they have to hide all of that crazy behavior, and they can't hide that covert side of themselves for too long. So they're trying to hurry up and progress the relationship because they can't keep their behavior hidden for too long. And they got other motives to rush in relationships, such as financial motives and many other reasons why they choose to push relationships really quickly. But the enablers, they pretty much quickly, eventually they're going to side with the narcissist. Eventually, they're going to they're just really wishy-washy people. They kind of flip back and forth, with their emotions and the way they feel about something, so like I just said, they get bullied and abused by the narcissist as well. I'll give you an example about that in a second. So, but I do want to say, when they go through these things, you can't give them sympathy, because they're really not giving you any. They may seem empathetic, like they really understand you or what you're going through or what the narcissist is doing, but at the same time, they still are supporting the narcissist, still conversating with them, and you just can't trust a person like that that's going to be so indecisive. That's the perfect word to describe them. An indecisive person. You really can't befriend somebody that's so indecisive like that, because they really can't support you. if they're going to support a toxic, abusive person, right? So the narcissist, again, they abuse and they punish them also. The enabler's weakness is that they're indecisive. That's their weakness. They let everything kind of blow over their heads. They change their minds about the narcissist. One minute they are mad at the narcissist, the enabler is, and they say, oh, he was wrong that he did this to you, and I understand, I feel your pain, blah blah blah. And they the next second they kind of are understanding the narcissist and don't want to see them fail, or whatever the case is, depending on the circumstances of what you guys have with the narcissist. And a lot of times it's because of the enabler is like a family member or a relative, someone really close to the narcissist. So in many ways, they kind of know what's going to happen in the beginning when they first meet you, because they know the pattern of toxic behavior that the narcissist has, but they just kind of just sit around and let things unfold, because it's not their fight. It's not their business, even though they know a lot of things, So it's just funny how people can be in this world when you choose not to do something about things, things that you can do that will really change somebody's life. But it just goes to show you the times that we live in. You got people out here who really just could really help somebody, but they just choose not to. It's just heartbreaking. They know all of this tea, all of these things about the narcissist that we should know. That we want to know, but we just don't know because the narcissist is hiding it from you. They know about the narcissist failures, about the exes of the narcissist, how those relationships ended. They know a lot of the truth. They don't know, they may not know every little single thing, but they know enough, But it's interesting how loyalty lies with the family member, So a lot of the enablers are just being loyal to the narcissist because that is their relative at the end of the day, So, enablers, sometimes they can view themselves as a do-gooder or a middleman, so they'll sit there and make it seem like they just want y'all to figure things out between the two of you, and they try to talk to you and encourage you, and then they try to encourage the narcissist. But the problem with that is that the narcissist brainwashes them over and over again and criticizes them and bullies them, and they just take all of that, and they don't want to. I mean, they understand what's happening, but they still just tolerate. It's like someone that keeps on letting someone slap someone in the face and forgiving them over and over again for slapping them in the face. They treat enablers really bad. They treat them bad too. But what do enablers do? They're gonna go defend the actions of the narcissist, some of their actions, and try to play the middleman, and try to be the peacemaker. And they straddle the fence, on one side of the fence. You know what straddling the fence mean. They're on one side, then they understand your side, then they understand where the narcissist is coming from. Just people pleasers, and they are toxic. I say that they're very toxic because they live in a lot of denial themselves, because the narcissist does some really bad things to them. Again, their weakness again is that of an enabler is that they are indecisive. They'll even just say the enabler, for example, is a mother to a narcissistic male. They will end up helping a narcissist male out with an attorney to go against you in court because they just are so indecisive, and they get bullied and brainwashed and criticized by the narcissist. They make unhealthy decisions, and the narcissist knows that they are an empathetic person like this, so that's why they keep them in the corner. They will keep the enablers in the corner. Narcissists love their enablers, and they love their flying monkeys, but I think they love the enablers more because they're more of a benefit to the narcissist. Enablers are empathetic. They can provide financial benefits, and they'll provide child care. If this is the mother of a narcissistic male, they'll drop the kids off there over with their mother, use her for child care or whatever they can use it for. There are a lot of benefits to the narcissist by having a good old enabler around. So the downside of the enabler is actually, I notice sometimes that they can take on some of the negative energy of the narcissist. They'll be nasty towards you or negative towards you because a narcissist is what, an energy vampire, right? They're draining a lot of the energy of that enabler. They're draining their energy, and the enabler bring some of the energy to you sometimes. So it really sucks, but I would say that you just can't trust them. Again, they can't be trusted, because you don't know what they're going to go back and tell the narcissist by trying, and they may look at it like they're trying to help, they're trying to work the situation out, or whatever they feel like they're doing, in their own minds. I wouldn't give the enabler any energy or time, because they're indecisive, and they're toxic as well, in my opinion. The narcissist knows the enabler's weaknesses, and they're gonna punish them. And the enablers, they can't really handle the punishment, so they fold. Again, the narcissistic male is gonna use his mother, that's an enabler, and punish her by withholding the grandkids. And that's going to be painful, to have your grandchildren held from you. You just don't want the kids hurt. So it's kind of like, it puts an enabler, the enabler has a motive. A lot of times it puts them in a position like, okay, I don't want to lose my grandkids behind this drama that these two have. So I can't, I got to pull away from this. I got to back out and go with a narcissist on this, because I need access to my grandkids. I need to see them. That's what they want, and that's just how the world works. That's the way they look at it. And a narcissist knows what the weaknesses of the enabler, and they're gonna punish them and do cruel things like keep their grandchildren away from them. And children, they don't deserve to be treated the way that that narcissistic parents treat them, but they don't mind keeping them away from their grandmothers, or grandfathers, or other relatives. So a lot of the enablers, again, they're empathetic people. They can't handle that type of pain. They don't want to deal with that type of pain, so they fold and they turn their back on you. So you really you really can't trust them. And to be honest about that, enablers, they won't cut the narcissist off, but they really should. They really should cut the narcissist off, and just do the right thing, because they are being abused by the narcissist just as well. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about enablers. Just be careful with those individuals. I know they seem nice. I know they may have helped you out at some point, or did something kind for you or whatever, but you just can't trust them. So tell me, guys, what you think about this video. Subscribe, and give this video a like, comment below, tell me what you think, guys, and I will talk to you guys later.